We've been following the New England Patriots. They're blasting the NFL after Commissioner Roger Goodell upheld quarterback Tom Brady's 4-game suspension over those deflated footballs. Today, the Patriots owner, Robert Kraft, called the decision unfathomable.
The league still has no hard evidence of anybody doing anything to tamper with the PSI levels of footballs. I continue to believe and unequivocally support Tom Brady.
Well, Kraft also added that he regrets not taking legal action against the league. And joining us now with more perspective on the case and what's next is Mark Conrad, professor of the sports business program at Fordham University's Gabelli School. Mark, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
What happens now?
Well, I think the lawyers are going to get to work because right away you have the league going to do everything they could to uphold this. The NFL Players Association and Tom Brady going to do everything they can to fight this. It's going to court. Cases have been filed. On the issue of Kraft, I think he feels and hoped that there would be a reduction in this suspension. I think when there was not that reduction, I think he was surprised. He tried to play nice with Goodell. He tried to play nice with the league. He said, I'll pay the fine. I'll do a mea culpa. But I think he hoped that it would be dropped to a 1- or 2-game suspension. When it was a 4-game suspension, I think that's when he said, the gloves are off.
And from Brady and the NFL Players Association perspective, there is no smoking gun. But what Roger Goodell has pointed out is there is a destroyed cell phone. And he's linking the two there. What indications do we have that the judge will make the connection as well?
Well, I think that's something that the judge will have to determine, and determine whether Goodell's rationale is going to stand up in court, if you will.
Do you believe it's strong?
I think if you asked me a week ago, I thought Brady had a really, really strong case because of the inconsistency of the NFL's policies. If you ask me today, I think Brady has a less strong case, but he doesn't have a bad case.
So what changed for you?
I think what changed is that conclusion by Goodell that indeed he did not cooperate with the investigation, according to Goodell, and that this phone issue was evidence of a lack of good faith, a lack of being part of the investigation, trying to do the right thing. And if you look at that decision yesterday, a lot of space was devoted by Commissioner Goodell to that point. I think he's laying out work to try to show a court that this is really different than some of the suspensions that were reduced in past cases. This is really going to be flagrant bad faith conduct here. Now, the union and Brady's going to say, look, it's a coincidence. You can't pin the fact that he changed cell phones, it broke, and what relevance is there? This is not a criminal matter where the cell phone had to be divulged. I mean, this was something that could be a coincidence, and I think they're going to try to convince the judge that, hey, look, this is still arbitrary, this still doesn't make sense, and it should be nullified in its entirety.
So you mentioned the NFL's inconsistent policy. Expand on that a little bit here. What's interesting is that Brady's side appealed the decision, and it was Goodell who came down with it again. Why isn't there a mediator or someone else aside from Goodell?
Well, that's the strange thing, because in the other major sports, the union has been able to negotiate an independent arbitration procedure for grievances, but the NFL Players Association has not been able to do that. In past agreements and in this collective bargaining agreement, they sort of deferred to the commissioner and gave him the power, at least on the surface, in Article 46 of that CBA, saying, hey, look, you know, we're delegating to you to be judge, jury, and appeals court. And a lot of eyes are being pointed at the union right now and saying, like, look, you know, why did you do this? You know, you should have fought more to create a system that you have, say, in the NBA.
What does Brady lose in all this? I mean, how much do fans wind up, I know he's losing actual money, but do fans wind up caring?
Well, in New England, they really do care. I mean, if you look at the reaction to the Facebook posting this morning, I mean, his fan base in New England is still very strong. If you talk about his national brand, I think the potential could be that he could be hurt. There could be some effect on this if indeed a judge does uphold that suspension and does accept the fact that, yes, he, quote-unquote, may have obstructed the investigation or didn't cooperate with the investigation. That could hurt him and could be an asterisk in his otherwise brilliant career on the football field.
Is this ultimately going to be a good thing or a bad thing for the NFL?
I think this is a bad thing. I think the fact that this has gone into a soap opera, this has gone to court, there have been competing lawsuits filed, is just going to get the NFL back in that bad publicity picture that it's tried to avoid, even though it can't avoid it because of some of the issues that have come up and some of the rulings and lack of specific systems that come into place to show consistency.
Yeah, it's rearing its ugly head. All right, thank you so much for joining us today. Mark Conrad, he is professor and director of the sports business program at Fordham University.